is Nicole. I work for Fond du Lac Tribal College, the Ojibwe Motaidawa Magadaki Minang program, and as well as the Kukunanig and Dawad Grandma's House program. And I am the site lead for the DHS Whole Family Systems project.
My name is Cindy Yang, Director of Child Care Services Division, formerly at the Department of Human Services, now at the Department of Children, Youth, and Families. So the three-generation model is a core feature of the work at Grandma's House. However, given the history of cultural genocide, there are very few first language Ojibwe speakers. Grandma's House worked with Ojibwe elders, first language speakers from Ontario, Canada, who practice Ojibwe language immersion with children and parents embedded in a context shaped by traditional Ojibwe culture and spirituality.
It was completely different as we entered into our learning partnership with Gokaananig and Dawad. We were invited as representatives of the state system to join our partners at Gokaananig and Dawad in a traditional Ojibwe ceremony that was grounded in traditional culture and values, guided by their spirituality, worldview, and belief system. This set the tone for our entire learning partnership together. Every grantee meeting was conducted similarly, launched by the elders performing a ceremony to establish a container for the conversations and for the meetings.
So I didn't become involved with the language nest. I was intrigued though. I was teaching preschool at the Ojibwe school when I saw that they were opening the preschool here. At the same time, I'd been taking language classes at Fond du Lac Tribal and Community College, and I just had to follow my heart and go where the language was. So we switched from the preschool at the Ojibwe school in January and came over here because I wanted more language in my home for me and my daughter.
Initially, the families started to come together. We had 7 founding families, a part of our program that were together in community and language throughout the whole time. And then first language speakers started to join in with them. And we really just came out into whatever was happening during that season, whether it was sugar bush or ricing or snaring rabbits. We did it as a whole cultural seasonal activity. Those were the lessons, those were the teachings, and that was how we led our program throughout.
Being outside and learning our language lets us know that we belong here. And I want that for her. I want her to know she belongs here and she's a part of something greater and that she is something greater. That's what I want for my child. So I think not only do I feel like I'm doing my part for myself and my kid, but for the generations to come.
I think knowing your identity as Anishinaabe and living your Anishinaabe culture really helps with that. You know, you feel really secure in yourself, and that's really important for kids to have.
We do not provide them with anything that has been processed. And that's a different component to an early childhood program. So that was a barrier that we had to overcome, and it is just more work to do that, but it's important to us.
I feel like I'm a part of a whole family at Kukunanig and Dawad. My job, my role there is to help coordinate and facilitate the program, the 0 to 3 program. So I'm working with families, moms, dads, guardians that are bringing their children, their 0 to 3-year-old children, in to learn the language. And a lot of them are learners as well. And I am helping to facilitate and provide language for them, but I'm also a learner as well. So I would say that, yeah, I'm a teacher, I'm a learner, and I'm a mom.
I think One of the most important things to highlight is that Grandma's House has created a really strong community for myself and all of my peers to engage in. It's really created a loving environment. It almost is like the perfect name. It's just like going to Grandma's house.
The other piece of the nest that I think has been so important to my own life is having this parent support, right? We had such a core group of people that wanted to live in a certain way. We wanted to teach our kids in a certain way, and we shared our struggles. We shared our struggles as second language speakers. We shared our struggles as parents of language speakers. Like, we wanted to keep them immersed, and like, how do we do that, and how do we talk about this or that? Like, we had people to talk to, we had people to ask questions to, and each of the parents a part of that program all had their own networks, right?
I know that he's going to be able to grow up and just have that really solid sense of self.
I work with just the community member, Nicole Nealand. She asked me to apply to be an FFN intern for Gukanani Gindawad, and I was really drawn to it because of the program. From what I could tell, I've never heard of it before, but from what I could tell, held a lot of respect for the elders and like prioritize them a bunch. And being able to work with first language speakers officially was a dream come true to me. And to be able to develop curriculum for an immersion program especially, and bring what I know to the community here.
I think so much of our language is tied to our traditions and our ceremonies and just our everyday practices as Anishinaabe, and that's what we focus on every day, specifically ceremonial.
If I had to summarize, the deepest learning has been the ways in which the state's current definition of quality that guides decision-making, policy and practice decision-making for the early care and education system, how that definition of quality is coded to mean white cultural values, and how creating a system founded in white cultural values as the definition of quality creates barriers for communities who don't hold those values and continues to perpetuate years of ongoing institutional racism.
I think our impact has created, like I said, it's a space, and that's one thing that I think has not been readily available or easily accessible for the community, because if you don't know who to speak to, you might not make progress with your language, and connecting with the language and culture in that way. Available, I think, has made an impact. I know more people are asking about us, and more people have stopped in to visit.
In recognition of tribal sovereignty, the state agreed to change the intellectual property language in contracts that gives the tribes the right to the intellectual property. So typically the state owns the intellectual property of grantees, but through our partnership, we were able to make this happen.
Through whole family systems, we've been able to do some things that we wouldn't have been able to do without the whole family systems project. We don't have many first language speakers here, so we have to bring first language speakers in from other communities. So we needed to support those first language speakers to travel and to pay for their time to spend with us. So we needed the flexibility of utilizing our funding in a way that could support really our philosophy and our program components that were really important to us. And our first language speakers has much time that we can get with them is so valuable. So we've been really able to do that with the project.
My daughter has been my greatest teacher in life. And so this is just further proof of that. And then multi-generationally, like within my family, I think my dad feels a little similarly to me, where there's kind of like this embarrassment about not knowing more. And I want to help my family heal from that, because I don't think that belongs to us. I don't think that came from us. I think that's some of that historical trauma.
We are also using our learnings from our partnership with Grandma's House to reform the state's definition of quality in early childhood and education settings, highlighting that the Native community's culture and language is the center point of quality.
Bantu matla tententas. Usually organized cast.